today I'm going to be showing you my everyday summer makeup when I'm actually getting ready to go out. And yeah, so I just need to put my hair up before we get started, because otherwise it will get all in my face. But I start off with, so basically I've just, all I've done is wash my face literally with just some water and then put on a little bit of moisturizer, the like Neutrogena gel cream, and then what I start with in summer, I use like any of these two sunscreens and then usually this tinted moisturizer. So this one is like a little bit more dewy and glowy, so I'm not going to use that one today, but I'm going to use this one and basically just as a primer. And I live in Australia, so need to protect your skin from the sun. And this is 50 plus, but it's like dry touch, so it actually is quite nice, because a lot of sunscreens are just disgusting, but this one is actually not too bad. So I just put that all over my face and go all white, and it actually works well as a primer. I think also because of the dry touch. Wait for that to absorb a little bit. Now I'm going to use the Nivea BB cream, which is also 0% sticky feeling, which I love, and also 50 SPF, which is great if you're in the Australian summer with UV index of literally like 10 every day. So I discovered this one I think like November 2019, and yeah, I actually love it so much because most of the time when you get BB creams that have SPF, they are like super shiny, and they don't stay on very well and they don't feel very nice. But this one is actually really good. Like I use it throughout all of summer, and even like a little bit in winter when you don't need as high of an SPF. It's just a nice BB cream, because I prefer on the day-to-day basis to use a BB cream rather than foundation, just because foundation clogs up your pores a lot more and usually has a bit more of like a high coverage unnatural look, and I like my makeup to be a bit natural, especially at the moment my skin's pretty clear, so I don't feel like I need foundation to like cover anything up, and if there is any little spots I just use concealer, which is the next thing that I'm going to do. So I have these two concealers, both of them are Maybelline. Sorry, but tickling my throat. Both of them are Maybelline. So this one is the Master Conceal Camouflaging Concealer in the shade medium, light/medium, 30. And this one is the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Under Eye Concealer in the shade Ivory. I always go for a lighter shade under my eyes. Even if I wasn't using a specific under eye concealer, I just basically use a normal concealer and go one shade lighter. So I'm going to do this one first, just to cover up those under eye bags that I definitely have. So I don't want to do too much because it is quite high coverage. And for that I'm just going to use this little buffer and buff that in. My eye always twitches when I like do this. It looks so funny. Also I'm looking down obviously because I have a mirror here. So yeah, just do that, and then if there's any excess I just like take it over my eyelids just as a little bit of like a prime, and to remove some of the shine. There we go. And then I take the other concealer, and yeah, I don't actually use brushes for too much of my face stuff. Like obviously for bronzer and stuff I use brushes, and like for my eyeshadow, but even on some days I don't use brushes for my eyeshadow. I like prefer using my fingers, so I use my fingers to put the concealer on. I went jet skiing last weekend, which is why I have this on my chin, because I hit my chin on the handlebars jumping over a very big wave. But it was very fun, so it was definitely worth it. Okay, then I just dab that in with light taps. Sometimes I'll use a beauty blender, but on the day to day I usually don't bother getting it out, and I just do basically everything just with my fingers. So I'm just going to wipe it off my fingers again, and then I'm going to use a little bit of this powder. It's just a matte like powder, nothing special. It's just a pressed powder in the colour neutral. So in this I love this brush, by the way. It says Nature's Minerals. I'm not sure if that's the brand, and like half the writing is rubbed off. I feel like it looks like the ones that you get from Body Shop, but I don't know if this one actually is from Body Shop because I've had it for ages. But anyway, so I use a little bit of that just because I do want a like glowy look, but in summer, like literally just after like 5 minutes of doing this, I will look glowy anyway because it's just quite warm. So to combat that and not be super shiny, I put on a bit of powder. It also just helps like set everything in a little bit, since I have like the sunscreen, the BB cream and the concealer to kind of combine them all and set them in. Then next thing I usually do is my brows. So I just use a like brown shadow from my eyeshadow palette. This is the one that I've had for ages, which is the Colourpop You Had Me at Hello, which they actually don't have anymore, which I'm really sad about. So I've had it for ages, but as you can see, like I've already hit pan on this one, and the other ones have quite a dent in them too. But it's lasted me a really long time, and the shadows are so pigmented that you don't need a lot, which is why it's lasted me so long. So I should still get quite a bit out of this one. But for my brows, I just use a matte brown from whatever eyeshadow palette I could find, brush through them a little bit, and then just use this angled brush that I have. I need to get a new one of these soon, I think. But yeah, I really like the ones that have a spoolie on one end and the angled brush on the other. So I want to try find one like this. This doesn't have a brand name on it. Pretty sure I just got it from like Kmart or Target or something, because it doesn't need to be a super expensive special brush to do my brows with. So I just do little strokes, kind of following the natural line of my brows, and then brush through, and that's pretty much all that I do for my brows. So I'm just going to do the other one. Also, so I like to take the angled brush like horizontally across this way, but then to do the front I put it vertically and just swipe across just for that front part. I don't know if that has a specific name, but I just always feel like, you know how the hairs grow upwards here and then they grow sideways, so whatever the bit is where they grow upwards, that's where I kind of go horizontally along. So yeah, that's my brows done. Then the next thing that I do is I just usually before I do any of my bronzer or anything like that, I will spray a little bit of this Rimmel Insta Fix and Go 2-in-1 primer and setting spray. So I just spray a little bit of that all over my face. It smells very nice as well. Always a bonus. And then if there's any like, because it sometimes like makes like droplets, I just dab that in with the brush. And then I move on to my bronzer. So I'm using the Rimmel London Natural Bronzer, which is also apparently waterproof and has an SPF of 15. Did not know that bronzer could have SPF in it. Also the lid is cracked because I dropped it. But this is the colour 025 Sun Glow. which is, yeah, apparently waterproof and has SPF. Did not know that when I bought it. So I'm going to just use this brush, which is Artiste, a blush brush technically. So I just take that underneath my cheekbones. Bronzer is probably one of my favourite makeup products. If I had to choose like, I was going to say if I had to choose 3, then I remembered concealer. But if I couldn't do anything to my face and I had to do 3, then I would probably do bronzer, my brows and mascara. But yeah, I just love that bronzed look. Then I take a little bit just like up on the sides of my forehead. A bit hard when your hair's sometimes in the way. Yep, and then recently started doing just a little bit along the sides of my nose. Not really to contour, since it's like literally the tiniest little bit on this brush, but just kind of everywhere, just use up the little last bits. And then for underneath my jawline, I use more of a contouring shadow. So this contour palette, I just use the brown, and I use this angled brush from Zoeva, which is a cream cheek brush, and I just take that underneath my jawline. Just like that, down my neck a little bit. There we go. And then the next thing I need to do is my eyeshadow. Okay guys, sorry, battery ran out. Let's see how long it lasts this time. So like I was saying, so since that Colourpop one is running out a little bit and I just wanted to get new palettes, I got these 2 recently. So one is called Going Coconuts and the other one is called Nude Mood. I think today I'm going to use the Nude Mood since the other one has a lot more shimmery tone in it. So how beautiful is that? Literally stunning. That one in the middle is so pretty. But today I'm probably going to just use matte colours. So I'll probably start off with this shade called Bluffin', which is what I usually use anyway, is like a kind of matte white kind of creamy shadow. So I use this brush for that, and I just go dab it in there a little bit and then go across my eyelid, basically just like as a kind of prime, so that my eyelid is all sort of the same colour. And I use it a little bit under my brow as well, just to get that little bit of like definition. So just all over my lid, then on the other side. There we go. And then I am going to start going into my crease. So for that I use the brush that I dropped earlier, which is the Zoeva 228 Luxe Crease. And this is probably, if I wasn't going to use any brushes to do my eyeshadow and I had to just choose one that I wanted to use, I would definitely choose this one, because I can do like a whole eyeshadow look just with my fingers easily, but using a brush like this that's like a little bit tapered for my crease definitely just gives a bit of a nicer shape. So what I'm going to do now is go to the next darkest shade, which is called Bare to Wear, and it's just like a pale like beige nude. Okay, so I decided to zoom you guys in a little bit for this next bit. So I'm just going to go from the outside and I just go in with like a downwards angle on the brush, and then I switch it a little bit more on the top and go like this, and then I do little circles, and yeah, then I fan it out a little bit just with like the middle of the brush at the same line as before, so that the top of the brush is just kind of like softening the edge of it. So yeah, I'm going to do that on the other eye. There we go. And then I move down to the next colour, which is called All Natural, and I just take a bit of that, so I like dab it in, and then I just pat it right onto the corner, and then I like take a little bit of it up into my crease, and same on the other side. So pat it into the corner and then take a little bit of it up through the crease, and then I go to the next colour. I think I'll use a tiny bit of this one, but it looks quite like red, so I'll just like really lightly, it's called the Cocoa, but it looks quite red, so I'm just going to use a tiny bit of that again, right quite close to my lash line in the corner, and just dab that into there, and I really won't take that on through the crease, just on the outside of my eye, and then same on the other eye. Also, I don't understand how some people can do their eyeshadow on one eye and then like switch over and do the other eye. Like I always do them simultaneously just to try and keep it as like symmetrical as possible, because I feel like if I did one eye I would be able to remember what I did, but it wouldn't be exactly the same, or I would use slightly like less or more product, or do like less or more strokes. So I also feel like as you go, see like just then I noticed this eye has a little bit more of the darker colour, so I just add a little bit more so that they look the same every step of the way, and that way at the end they look the same. So that's just how I like to do my eyeshadow. So then I just use whatever is kind of left on the brush and run that through my crease. And sometimes I like to fan that end out a little bit more, create a little bit of a little point. And then I just take the final darkest colour, and for this I usually just use my little finger, so I like it to kind of be a bit more like specific, and I just go along my lash line like that, and the same on the other side. Also, some days like I just use whatever is left on this brush, and I literally just get my finger into this colour, swipe across, and then use whatever's left on that brush in my crease, and that's like the quickest like 5-minute makeup, and still having eyeshadow, and like looks really natural and like soft because it's just what's left in the brush rather than actually applying shadow. So there's a little hack if you want to do quick makeup, but I still do recommend washing your brushes every so often in between. So yeah, just a little bit along there, and then I take a little bit of the light one again and just freshen up that in a bit on top, and then just that medium shade with my finger right in the center to blend that together. Then just crease it a little bit more again. Kind of just keep going until I'm happy with how it looks. And then one of my favourite things to do is to use a really sharp angled brush. So I use the 317 Wing Liner by Zoeva. My nose is really itchy. And I just take the darkest matte brown in the palette, and I just like press that along my lash line. So it gives a really natural like winged liner kind of look, but also makes your lashes look a bit thicker once you put mascara on. So I usually do a little bit of a wing as well, but to keep it really soft and natural. Smudge that out a little bit with my finger again, and then once I'm happy with how that looks, I'm done with my shadow and I just do my mascara, and that is pretty much then it. This is the, by the way, Maybelline Lash Sensational, which I love because I love this one for my top lashes. But I think a different one might be better for my bottom lashes. Also, I'm still trying to find, this one's actually really good in terms of waterproof. Like, if I go in the water with this, like if I swim in the pool, it doesn't necessarily go anywhere or run unless I then like touch or rub my eyes. And that's another thing about the Colourpop eyeshadows. They are amazing. Like the shimmery ones especially. But like literally I just have a whole makeup look and I can like go in the pool, get my face completely like wet, and they just stay exactly in place, so your eyelids just dry again once you come out of the water and it looks exactly the same. But yeah, in terms of waterproof mascara, this one's pretty good. It doesn't really run everywhere unless you do then touch your eyes. But I just don't like the texture of waterproof mascaras. I feel like they are always kind of like, I mean, I guess to be waterproof they need to be, but like they're kind of greasy and just, they don't go on nicely, and they always make my lashes clump a lot. So if you know a really good waterproof mascara that goes on nicely and looks really nice but is also waterproof, then please let me know in the comments down below, because I love recommendations of a good waterproof mascara. So that's my lashes. Doing the other side now. Finger always works to fix it. And then just fixed. There we go. So I'm just gonna put on a little bit more powder, since while filming it's gotten a little bit hot in here. So yeah, then the last thing I just do, put on a little bit of lip balm. This is the Burt's Bees Strawberry. And then that's the final look. And then I just finish off with a little bit of perfume. So sometimes if I want something a little bit stronger, the C by Giorgio Armani, or more of a like light fragrance mist, I like using the 1000 Wishes by Bath and Body Works, which is, oh, almost dropped the lid, I'm going to use today. It smells so nice. I don't actually know what is in the fragrance because it never tells you on the bottle with Bath and Body Works, except for like the actual ingredients and stuff, which doesn't really explain very much. But look it up, 1000 Wishes, really, really nice. And I love this one, but it's a bit stronger and more of a evening scent. So yeah, this is the final look. Then I probably would actually leave my hair up, since in summer it gets too hot otherwise, but yeah. So this is the final look for my summer makeup.